Yeah, arguing with retards is something I tend to do a lot.
Yeah, that's underselling that.
I wonder if there's a program, like AA, but Retards Anonymous, where it helps you not talk to tards anymore.
I don't know. You fed into the targarithm.
I am in the tartar rhythm. You're right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey of the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranty Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of tired. Actually, I'm really tired. Been kind of not sleeping.
Oh,
But running around doing dumb shit. I do not lead an exciting life. It's all very pedestrian stuff.
I feel you. I feel
How
you.
you doing?
I'm sore, but not worth talking about. Sore, It's not like I
Yeah.
fell or anything. It's just my normal self. So I'm happy and ready to go talking about dumbasses.
Oh yeah. You know
In
who's
this case,
not?
go ahead.
You know who's not a dumbass?
Who?
Tyrai, who gave me a donation a few days ago after the show ended, and I missed it.
Oh,
So I wanted to get that real quick. Tyrai says, "Here's your $1 back for reading that terrible issue of Strange, with an additional tip for your time in making the video." I appreciate that. That was painful. It was so fucking bad. So
well, speaking of off the air, thank you, disgruntled technician. I'm back in reference
Yay.
to that story of the woman jet skiing. Jet boat racers wear special pants because of that. Water's an unforgiving force. That goes back to that poor woman who died when she fell off the back of a jet ski. Her husband was driving and the water blew out her hoo-ha.
Yeah, I still am horrified by that concept because I didn't know that could happen.
Water is like literally shaped the land we live on. So it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you've ever seen them sandblast stuff, water's a big part of that. That's how they get the sand moving.
Yeah.
Water is a destructive force. It really is. I just never thought about if you fall off the back of something like that, you often see people, they land on their back. So they're almost gynecologically positioned for that water to spray right there. Or proctology, except for in proctology, usually standing, right? Somebody asked Nikki Haley that for me. I'm not sure. Anyway, have to make a Haley joke because fuck that whore. Jack,
Monkey.
we have stuff to talk about today, and I'm not even sure where I want to begin this one. I guess I want to talk about Vivek and Trump, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know what to put on the thumbnail, and that happened today, and it was a good moment. Although I think Vivek, he went a little too much into his own stump speech when he was talking. Did you see him go up there in New Hampshire with Trump?
Yeah, I caught part of it. I didn't pay too much attention to it. Iowa's done. Do I need to pay attention?
Probably not. But Vivek gets up there and he, praises Trump, and Trump gave him some pretty decent praise as well. I would be shocked if we don't see him working for Trump at some point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he's going to get a job. I think him and Trump will get along quite well. So,
did you see the Babylon Bee headline?
Yeah, with the 7-Eleven.
It said, I'm paraphrasing, guys, because I'm not bringing it up, but something to the effect of Trump is hiring Ramaswamy to run the 7-Eleven in the White House. And a bunch of conservatives got pissed off about it.
Why? I don't get that.
Because a bunch of them are humorless shits. They're taking everything way too seriously. And some woman that I follow said, hey, that's not us. That's how the other side reacts. We have a sense of humor. I'm like, have you been paying attention? Because the right seems to be losing its sense of humor. And if you don't believe me, go make a Jesus joke. Make a cake while you're wearing a fucking cross, while you're fully dressed. See how they react. The right has become hashtag not all of you. I need to say that because it's just growing right now. It hasn't gotten really, really bad yet. But go make a Jesus joke. Go make a joke about Donald Trump and see what happens. These people lose their fucking minds. Like, calm down. It's a joke. Just relax.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension in the world right now.
I'm so tired of humorless people. I don't care if they're left or right. Learn to fucking laugh. That was a funny headline, and you know who laughed at it?
Vivek,
Vivek Ramaswamy. He thought it was funny.
because it is funny.
Matt Walsh came out and told conservative, like, calm the fuck down. It's a joke. I'm sure he doesn't mind. And Ramaswamy tweeted out, I'm a survivor. Survivor in quotes. Yeah, he laughed at it because that's how you treat something. It's the fucking Babylon Bee. It's a joke. Relax. If you can laugh at Rachel Levine getting Man of the Year, you can laugh at Ramaswamy working at a 7-Eleven, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stereotype. It's
Well,
gonna be give me
I
a break.
literally said, is it funny because it's a stereotype?
Partly, yeah.
That's the joke, dummy.
Yeah. Lighten up, dude. It's gonna be okay.
Nobody honestly thinks Ramaswamy's going to end up working at a fucking 7-Eleven, you retard.
Why don't you stop being Jack Murphy and pull that dildo out of your butt and relax?
Buddha, thank you so very much. Who says, good morning, guys, from the great state of Texas. Good morning from the cold state of Michigan.
Good morning. I'm also cold, but it's not as cold as Michigan, so.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect. You've said it for years. Oh, there's a feminist $12.
Woo!
You've said it for years. The right has always been 5 years behind the left. Puritanicalism has started to enter the right again. Yeah, we're swinging back around.
Yeah, well, you got another one.
Oh, and thank you, Alan, who says, good morning, monkey. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Alan, who says, morning, Jack. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for that generous donation.
Thank you, Keldrick. If Matt Walsh is telling you to calm down and take a joke, you know you got a stick up your ass. You're not wrong.
That is so true.
You're not wrong. Because Matt is one of them who could get offended at a Christian joke, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's not a lot more to say about Vivek and Trump other than it. I've seen Trump with a lot of people. I really have. He's been on the national stage for decades.
Yeah.
There was, like, in my opinion, just some really genuine appreciation for the man of Ramaswamy.
Mm-hmm.
In ways I don't normally see with Trump, even when he's being complimentary to people. I am wondering if they had the VP conversation.
I'm telling you, it's a natural fit. And Ramaswamy is a great protege for Trump.
He is 100%. And if Don Jr. doesn't want to do it, and he clearly doesn't, why not get somebody else who's outside the Beltway? And now, I don't think Ramaswamy ran for VP. I think when he said he didn't want it, he was running for first place, that he meant it. But everybody means that when you still think you might have a shot.
Yeah.
When the polls close and you're number 2 or 3, or in his case 4, suddenly number 2 don't sound so bad.
Yeah, and he can always run again in 28 and try and get the nomination then. And this would keep him in the public eye.
And being VP would be a great way.
Yeah.
I still maintain I'd rather have him go run your state, but even doing that,
well, I would too, but
he ends up having to run your state for a couple of years, whether he does it for 2 or 6, right?
Yeah.
When the presidential election comes up, he runs into the same problem DeSantis would have, or that is having, is that 2 years from now, he's out of public office and he's got 2 years to go before an election. So you have this drag time there that's not conducive to the White House. It's really not a thing that can really be done in the modern time, I don't think. You go back a decade or two, Jack, and people hung around politics a lot longer. Their name stayed out there more because they would show up on cable news all the time. Our attention spans are so ridiculously short now.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
Mighty Balzac, thank you. Maybe Trump called him over to fix his Wi-Fi. No, you don't send the technician to do, or you send the white technician to fix the Wi-Fi. You call him to do it from over there.
Yeah, he does it remotely.
He does it remote. You got to send, and I guess black guys too. I've never actually had somebody come to my house to fix any of those lines and stuff, and I've had several out who was Indian. It was always white and black guys. In fact, you know who fixed it finally was a black guy who told me, yeah, our line is just fucked up. I'm like, oh, you're like the ninth person who's come out here. And could you go tell all the other idiots who work with you that they're idiots for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and not do that.
What they did at that point is because literally the speeds that are advertised cannot be got at my house. And it's not my house that's the problem. It's the lines coming to it.
Yeah.
And once that was figured out, they're like, oh, well, we'll give you a discount since you're not getting what's promised. I'm like, that seems like a good fucking idea.
That almost sounds fair.
Now, the guy who told me on the phone that they'd give me a discount for that, I don't want to say he was Indian, but he certainly had that accent.
But if I had to guess, I would say he enjoyed curry.
He probably enjoyed some curry. Are there Indian people who don't like curry? I guess there's got to be.
Yes, there are. A lot of the spices that you see in India were actually concocted by the British.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's a very poor country. So they were like, your food sucks. We need to sexy it up.
Iran attacked Pakistan today. Did they?
Then
I missed that.
Won't surprise me at all.
I played video games until I went to sleep at about 4:30 today, Jack.
Wow.
Yeah. I was playing a game called Dungeons 3 because Dungeons 4 just came out, and I still have some Christmas money left over, and I'm looking at that one going, do I want it? And I was like, you know what? Let me play 3, and if I still like and want to buy it after I've played 3, maybe I'll get it. But this is a time sink. It's a real-time strategy game.
Oh.
And at one moment it was 8:00 in the morning, and then it was 4:30, and like I should probably get some sleep.
Yeah, so that would seem that way.
So then I wake up and I get onto the Twitter machine where I argue with Zuby over his ageism. Dude, just admit you're an ageist. There's nothing wrong with it. Just say you don't like old people. And I saw how do you say that guy's name from Argentina? Malay?
Something like that. Miley?
Miley?
I don't know.
We'll call him Hannah Montana. Did you see Hannah Montana's headed to the World Economic Forum?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
So he's headed to the World Economic Forum, and he's on a plane, and a reporter asked him, why are you going there? And he said to plant the seeds of freedom, libertad, and stop the socialist agenda that's going to ruin the world. I was like,
they're going to murder that man.
They are. He's on a commercial airline. So in a couple of days, look for a commercial airliner to go down carrying the president of Argentina.
Yeah.
I saw one dude on Twitter who's like, he's going there. Why? He's joining them basically. Now he's going there to tell them to fuck themselves. But he called it a contradiction because he's going to the World Economic Forum to tell the World Economic Forum to go fuck themselves. And then you click on the guy's bio. He purposefully lives in China. And if you look at his feed, it's all about how great China is. This is an American who purposefully lives in communist China and just pushes communist bullshit. So two things. One, good on him for at least living it. Most of the little commies here in the United States just sit behind their westernized capitalism and preach nonsense they don't believe us on. But two, your communist propagandist, shut the fuck up.
Oh, but we all rub under China.
He actually tweeted out earlier this year about how peaceful China is. And it's great because if you scroll back just a little bit, he's giving a speech about how America caused the problems in Hong Kong. Those peaceful China, even if you say the Americans caused the problems, who was beating the shit out of the Hong Kongese?
Americans disguised as Chinamen.
Oh, is that what it was? It was,
yes.
It was Chinese Americans who snuck over the border.
Yeah. Then they dropped the coof. See, that's
It's
how this
amazing the
works.
kind of retards I run into online.
Oh my god. You find the dumbest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. Seriously.
In fairness, most of them find me.
Is that better or worse?
Oh, well, it's better for a me perspective because it's not me going out to find them, because that would almost indicate a compulsion that would need fixed. With
Uh-huh.
the amount of times it happens, and in this case, it's not that. I attract them, Jack. Like you attract weirdos in real life.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. My pheromones smell like Twinkies.
Speaking of that, you, I mentioned you yesterday. I think it was before
Oh,
you got on the show, or maybe it was the day before
what
when
did
you
you
weren't even
wrong?
here. We talked about the Whoopi Goldberg thing. Whoopi Goldberg went on television and said that if Trump is elected, gay people are going to be thrown in camps.
Oh god, this shit again.
Will you remind the audience what happened with your one friend?
Yeah, so my buddy Rick, I don't care if you know his name. He was actually concerned this was going to happen under Trump the first time, like deathly afraid of it. Like we lost contact with him for a little while because we're pretty sure he bunkered in his house. But yeah, he was terrified that he was going to get arrested and thrown in a re-education camp and get conversion therapy for being gay. That's a legitimate
Wait,
thing that people in the gay community, well, some of the more extreme ones, were actually afraid of.
how do you think that conversion therapy would have gone? Do you think you take the gay guy and you like strap him in a chair and you just show him vagina till he likes it? Or do you use the therapy where you just smack him with a dick and they get that aversion therapy?
I think they're gonna have the scientists dressed like penises,
Oh,
and
okay.
then they slowly like do waterboarding and stuff like that, and they associate the visual of the penis with the suffering, and then
Uh,
they're forced to watch newsreels of vaginas, like actual film of like 70s porn, and all the wallpaper and stuff is vaginas, so it's all very subtle.
Very, very subtle, actually. Hit them with dicks while they look at vagina. I think that's the way to go. That's the way you really convert people.
Yeah, and they play like moaning chicks during lunchtime, so you associate pleasure
Oh,
of
there you go.
eating with sexually pleasuring women, and then whenever something bad's happening, you have like you didn't make daddy happy, or some or girl, I'm a bear, and they force you to choose between eating like a hot pocket or a hot dog, and if you go for the hot dog, you get shocked, and if you go for or a taco, if you go for the taco, you get like orange juice or something. I don't know. I haven't thought this out very well.
Yeah, I just don't understand the kind of people who think like that, honestly. And yeah, guys, we're being exaggerating jackasses here. But I mean, you had
Really?
people honestly convinced, well, to what would happen, Jack. Because I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, Rick was actually convinced this was going to happen. This was a legitimate fear. He had escape routes planned out of the city. That's how terrified he was. He had like a go bag and everything.
and that was the point I was getting to, is that while you and I are exaggerating, this is what some people really believe.
Yeah. Like he made Alex Jones look totally sane. I was
They're,
like, dude.
they're coming to take the penis away from me. Who, seriously, why would you even think that was a thing? I mean, that kind of stuff, could it happen? Could people end up in camps? Yeah, but over
Is it
Wiener?
likely?
Did Donald Trump say anything even close to that? Of all of the Republican presidential candidates of my lifetime, he has been the most gay friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
But no, he's going to put the gays in camps. Based on what?
Based on a bunch of nonsense crackpot websites that because people don't check other like things that disagree with them anymore. They don't listen to the other side.
Isn't a hot dog a taco? No, they're both basically sandwiches. A taco is just a tortilla that somebody dropped in some hot oil to make it tasty.
Yeah, see, a taco is
or fried.
doesn't have the hot dog in it.
No,
Whereas the
no, no.
bun, you associate
Un-
the hot dog with the buns. You know what I'm saying?
there's not a hot dog in a taco unless you're Nikki Haley and your husband's away. Come on, that was a good one.
I was responding to Evolved Potato and not getting myself in trouble.
Mother of God.
I know, you say things sometimes. That was your punishment, apparently. Feminine penis, right? Yeah, he used to respond to what Evolve said. He said, you should have that at all times. Anyway, yeah, well, a go bag is something good to
Can
have.
you talk
But
for a minute?
yeah, he also used to make fun of doomsday preppers, and then he became one. Trump, the guy vowed to protect the gays during his nomination acceptance speech. Yeah, well, you got to remember a lot of these guys don't listen to somebody they disagree with, so they have no idea what Trump actually said or means.
Yeah,
Because they
exactly.
refuse to watch him. He's Hitler. Somebody told them that. They're just dumb sheep.
They listen to people tell them what Trump said rather than going and listening to Trump.
Yes.
They're the kind of people who tune into Whoopi Goldberg saying, Donald Trump said he's going to be dictator for life, when that's not what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump said, I won't be a dictator. And then he said, actually, I will be on day one, only for day one. And Whoopi goes Caesar on that shit. And the people who listen to Whoopi Goldberg will repeat, Donald Trump said he's going to be dictator for life, even though he never said that.
Yeah. It's really pathetic because it's not that hard to find the truth.
I'm so sorry. Pyrus brought up the perfect example. He said, drink bleach. They all went out there. Donald Trump said to inject bleach into your system. He never said anything close to that.
Nope.
But we even had Clorox come out and go, don't ingest bleach.
Yeah, and let's not forget the horse medicine.
Yeah, you got to take the horse. But in this case, Donald Trump specifically did not say anything about that. And they're like, how dare you? He said we got to inject this bleach into our system. No. He asked, and by the way, we do have ways to clean blood. We do it. We clean blood. It's called dialysis. It's been around for a long time. It's older than me. But
that's a conspiracy theory, monkey.
No, we can't clean blood. It's retarded to even suggest.
Yeah.
What
dumb.
if, because of that, some scientist out there found a way to actually use a disinfectant in blood?
I mean, they'd get drummed out of the sciencey fields.
Oh, absolutely. If you could do that shit with just a simple spray of some Lysol, yeah, that would be the end of your life. Not because of the Lysol, but because you're like, wait, you just put drug companies out of business. You're going to be on a flight with Malou, Argentinian Trump. Let's call him what he is. Actually, I would call him more Argentinian Vivek, if I'm being honest, because again, I like Trump and some of his message, but he didn't quite lead that way. And this guy's just like, I'm firing everybody. And I really hope this guy has a decent tenure as president, the dude down in Argentina.
Right.
There are a lot of forces against this guy.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to try and kill that poor dude.
If he can make it just a couple of years and have serious positive change, we can see South America change.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if Argentina becomes prosperous.
Yeah, we're watching as the communists have been trying to take over South America. They're not even hiding it. They're buddying up with anybody and everybody. And Argentina has been dealing with the effects of all this social programming bullshit. And this dude's like, nah, man, fuck this. It's time to fix this. We have too many people working for the state. And they're like, wait, what? How? But where are we going to get jobs? Maybe private industry, which would help your country.
What?
Mexico. I mean, Mexico's got private industry. It's just all the drug trade. Man, it is amazing how beautiful south of our border is, all the way down to to the very bottom of South America and how fucked up most of it is.
I blame the weather. It's too nice.
I blame the Spanish. They're the ones who did it. Notice we kicked out the Spanish, America prospered. Canada, they kept some French, so they're not doing as well as us.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what you get for keeping the French.
Yeah. We bought them out. We were like, look, Napoleon, we'll give you some money for all this land you got. And he's like, I like war, sure.
We said, you know what? We'll name a street after you. Now get the fuck out. Because that's what we did. Anyway. Lafayette Boulevard, anybody? All right. So, Jack, let's talk about Maine, shall we? You want to get pissed?
I'm already pissed.
Have you seen this shit coming out of Maine?
Yep.
Now, the part everybody's paying attention to, as always, is not the part that I have the biggest problem with. So Maine has a bill in committee right now that they want to push on all of the people of Maine, Jack.
Indeed.
That will affirm gender for children. Now, I want to make sure the subsection. Okay, I want section 6 when we get back here. So this is it. The first special session 2023. This has been in there since then. It's still in the committee. They're trying to get it out. It's called an act to safeguard gender affirming healthcare.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, it sounds so heroic. Oh, they're so stunning and brave.
Doesn't it? They're protecting, Jack.
Yes, they're protecting the trans kids. Trans kids are real kids.
We're going to make sure that these kids... One of the most disturbing parts of this is it says over and over again, according to the patient. The care according to the patient. That's not how we do medicine.
It is now.
You know, I use this example on Twitter and I realize it's literally what we did. If we took this same kind of affirming the patient when it comes to pain, we would have an opioid crisis, which we did because doctors would be like, you have pain? Here, have some medicine, without actually even looking that deep.
What? No, they can't look at it. You just have to live with the ignorance, because if you looked at it, you'll see there's a problem. And there's no problems, comrade. You're not allowed to find problems.
And we ended up with what they called the opioid crisis. People getting sued left and right over being basically heroin junkies. Because I know this isn't like other opioids. You can't get addicted to this. Like, yeah, why is that guy scratching his arm then?
So that's not addiction. He's got the itchies.
Involves that a patient wants pain meds, you don't just give it to him. No, you don't. You don't. Jordan Peterson said this so well when he was talking about this in Matt Walsh's documentary, What is a Woman? Like, affirmative care is not a real thing. That, especially when you're talking in psychology, which, by the way, this does have both physical and mental gender affirming care, mental health and physical health. But he said, that's not what a psychiatrist does. You don't go in there and go, well, what are your problems? I feel like nobody likes me. Nobody likes you. Can you imagine doing that?
No, that's awful. That's contrary to what needs to be done.
But is it an apt comparison to what's going on with this gender affirming care shit?
Oh, absolutely.
It's literally just the patient said it. I went to med school. What the fuck do I know? Here, have some oxy. Here, have some hormones. Here, let's cut off your wiener.
Well, I mean, this really just is going to ramp up the female genital mutilation in the Islamic community.
No shit. She says she was not that girl no more. So we cut it off. All right. Yeah. So here's the part that everybody is upset about here. The bill prohibits a court from considering the taking or retention of a child from a person who has legal custody of the child if the taking or retention was for obtaining gender affirming care. So what this is saying is if a parent crosses state lines to come into Maine to get gender affirming care, and they're the legal guardian of that child. And a court in the state that they're actually from says, yeah, no, you can't do that. Maine is saying, fuck that state. We're not following their laws because they're doing this for gender affirming care.
Did we have some sort of civil action over this back in the 1860s?
Yeah. Yeah, you caught
Seems like
that
we're
reference.
heading back in that direction.
You get that reference too. This is
Yeah.
like some Fugitive Slave Act shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hang on, I got a couple things here. Thank you, Keldrick. The reason warm weather areas attract commies is because comfortable outdoor living conditions attract freeloading hobos. That's true. Nobody wants to mooch off the state while dodging rent if it means being outside in a blizzard. Yeah, one good cold snap, a lot of our bums die off. They all migrate for the winter.
Bubba Hotep says that doesn't seem legal. It's not.
It's very illegal, actually.
They're treating this as though it's like an extraditionary request from another country.
Yeah.
And yeah, this would be illegal as shit. But and while that's disturbing, Jack, there's a lot of this is disturbing. I want to come up to this part right here.
Oh, hold on, let me grab this. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Not only did this type of care lead to the opioid crisis, it also led to the sharp rise in antibiotic-resistant infections.
True.
Yeah, that's a really good point. They used to hand out antibiotics like candy, and they still do it in Asia and India, which is why they have a lot of sickness over there.
People don't like the fact that I don't go to the doctor often when I'm sick, but you know what? When I do go and I'm sick enough that I have to have medicine, the medicine always works, Jack.
Yeah, because you're not in there every day like, I got the sniffles. I have a tiny pain.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to read this part because it's an amendment to one of their already existing laws. This is the existing law. Abandoned child. A court of this state has temporary emergency jurisdiction if a child is present in this state and the child has been abandoned, or it is necessary in an emergency to protect the child from the child or a sibling or a parent of the child being subjected to or threatened with mistreatment or abuse. That's the existing law. So if a child is abandoned in the state takes custody of the child temporarily. Or if the child is there because they're like hiding from abusive parents, any kind of abuse, and they're hiding there, say like, no, we got them while we figure this shit out. But they added this. Or because a child has been unable to obtain gender affirming health care or gender affirming mental health care. They can take your child as an emergency measure to protect them if they can't get hormones, Jack. If they can't get their titties cut off. If you're not filling them with a chemical castration unit.
Yeah, this is how a bunch of doctors and cops get shot. Because you're going to grab the wrong person's kid, especially in a free-loving state like Maine. And some psycho is going to come hunting. I'm sorry, this is fucking insane. You have no right to take my kid because my kid thinks they're a dinosaur or a pony.
They have literally put this on the same level as beating your kid.
Yep. It's mental torture. How dare you? This is dangerous.
Good morning,
people
nuts.
Step dead out of this. It's not something I'm advocating. It's just predictable.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Good morning, Nuts. How are you, sweetheart? Hope you slept well.
Hi, Stargazer.
Everything in this is just nonsensical. It's all just, hey, the child believes, and therefore we have to give it to them. What if a child believes they're going to die if they're not allowed to smoke crack? Do we just, oh, well, he believes it. We only do this with this gender care stuff for children. If a child came to you and said, I'm allergic to everything except ho-hos and Twinkies, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, this poor child can only eat ho-hos and Twinkies. You'd be like, shut up, you're being stupid. Eat your dinner. But when it comes to this, suddenly children are biological and medical experts.
Yes. Yes. See, I have to have the new game system so I can play Call of Duty, because if I don't, I'll die. I'll literally die.
Would you see that one case? God, I wish I want to say it's Virginia, but don't quote me on that. This parents are suing a school district because the school district hid all of this stuff from them, that their daughter was socially transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way it got caught is they were sending papers home to the parents, because they stayed in contact with the parents because they're dirty little shits. And they accidentally left the new name on the girl's paper.
Yeah.
And they tell the story of like their daughter. The reason they even got a hold of the school in the first place is she'd done really well, and she gets into junior high and everything just starts to fall to shit. You know, around the age of puberty.
Where it usually falls to shit.
And instead of working with the parents for real, they fake worked with the parents while transitioning the child in the background. So this child just gets worse and worse and worse until they accidentally find these papers. They pull her the fuck out of this school. They take her to a different school. They get her some actual mental health. She's still a girl, Jack.
Oh,
and she's happy.
Send CPS after him.
And she's happy because they got her away from this shit that just tells kids, you're right to be miserable.
No, misery loves company. And Jeffrey Marsh loves misery.
Jeffrey Marsh loves little children and touching them inappropriately.
I suspect as much too. Oh, thank you, Evolved Potato. There's a type of antibiotic that basically no one uses because it's only used in very dire situations where all other medicine has failed. So that makes it very cheap. So Chinese farmers buy it in bulk to feed their animals, rendering it useless. Yep. That's why you don't eat Chinese food or meat from China.
Right. Mess says it's genocide of autistic girls. I'm going to disagree with you slightly there because you don't need the word autistic in there. Girls go through shit we guys don't have to. We get a little hairy, gets deeper. Most of us. Sorry, some of you out there. We get our balls dropping and stuff. Women go through a horrible time, including the whole bleeding thing. But the bleeding thing is actually kind of minor compared to the hormone changes that goes on with these poor girls. It's not an easy time for them. And when all you're doing is like, boys have it so easy. What do you think's going to happen? You could just be a boy if we let you dress like one. Look, all of those problems are gone. Oddly enough, those problems never go away for those people. You know why? Because you're still a girl. And what you got to do is teach women. I'm almost on the side now, Jack, of women being proud of their periods. Thank you, Chaos One. Wait, did Maine pass this or is it being voted on? This is in committee right now. It's in committee.
It'll probably get passed. Who we kidding?
That's why it says in the title, proposes the absurd bill. I wouldn't be shocked if it got out of committee and got voted all the way in. It's asinine and it's 100% illegal.
Now, this is how we do stuff now. We have a bunch of feelings people instead of intelligent people. Now, AP made a really good point on his show the other day that women don't know how to handle testosterone.
True. We saw that in that video you shared.
Yeah. The internet's awesome. Yeah, I think Evil One sent me that one. No, he made a really good point. He was playing a video. It probably was the same video about how from an early age, men are taught to how to control their emotions and how to control their aggression.
Yes.
Women don't have that training. So that's why they go completely psycho when they're on testosterone. They're always aggressive, threatening to hurt people, making violent statements. We see it all the time on social media by a bunch of these women that are on T. So maybe we need a class on how to teach new boys not to be violent.
Darth Mondo, thank you. My niece and nephew will die unless Trump is made president and the Bidens and Clintons are thrown into jail. There you go. Got to do it now.
Yeah, it's required under Maine law.
Don't want these kids to hurt themselves. The problem with the T thing, I mean, we know this is a problem with men. Overly aggressive men, when they check them, they tend to have really high testosterone. There's actual disorders for having too much testosterone, and women are not built for it. Your body rejects it. Same as men with men taking estrogen. The body, there's a reason you have to keep taking it. Your body just doesn't go, oh, I'm a woman now, I'll produce my own. You don't have the parts to do it, and your body fights against it. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a doctor, Jack. I don't have my own lab. That went away, didn't it? You no longer have to have your own lab to be a scientist.
Yeah.
Testosterone is the aggression hormone. It is. And it's why men are the way we are. And it is, like you said, we get taught from an early age that aggression is wrong. Women don't get that. And I think you're seeing it now too, because women have been, and not just the ones. Okay, so real quick, the video that we're talking about, this trans man threatens to burn down the house of their ex that they share a child with or children with. And so he calls the police and is like, yeah, this crazy bitch, dude, whatever, is threatening me and my children. And so the cops go over there to find fatty moo with her puberty mustache. And they're like, hey, we need to talk to you. And she's like, no. And she hulks out. Now, what really made me laugh is because she is huge. And she's pushing around this cop who puts up with it for just a little bit and then puts her on her ass.
Oh, man, he put up with it for way longer than I would have. He was being so civil.
And you know why.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But still, he was incredibly professional in that. And good for him. But at the same time, like, dude, that's why I'm not a cop. I do not have that kind of temperament.
The reason he's that way, and they even kind of discuss it at the very end of the video, is because they don't know how to deal with trans people. Got to be very careful here. You see, you might offend this crazy bitch who's hitting you. But she found out that even being a fatty moo doesn't turn you into an actual man.
Yeah.
Because she got put down
fast too.
And he couldn't get the cuffs on her because she is tubby and annoying. Here, let's show you guys this beautiful woman. I'm sorry, this
empowered man.
This total dude. This is the first time
bad I heard the ex talking. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hilariously bad.
It is the first time I've seen a trans woman with man titties, or trans man with man titties.
Those are trans titties.
Them's his man's titties.
Those are
feeling
man titties.
I don't give a fuckish today. Yeah. But my comment on this, and you and I hadn't discussed this, so it's just natural that me and Jack, we think way too much alike.
Because we're awesome.
Maybe it's a bad idea to give crazy women testosterone.
You think?
Maybe
kind of redundant.
Well, you know, people who actually have psychological breaks.
That's not all of them?
No.
Oh.
There's different levels, trust me. I've been married a long time.
A little different than most, I guess.
You're taking people with severe mental problems and going, you know what we should do? Give you retard strength.
Here's a bunch of anger pills.
Who thought that was a good idea? Oh, but hey, she gets a little tiny mustache out of it.
Yeah. Oh, the mustache is so adorable. Like, oh, you're 15. Oh, boy.
I had a better mustache at 15 than that, honestly.
Yeah, I did too.
But good God, why? Look, if you guys want to transition, I don't care. I do think giving crazy people stuff that makes them stronger is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah.
But leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids out. No,
this bitch is fucking crazy, man.
She is, and it's funny as hell watching her get taken down too. And she fights the whole way until she gets into the back of the cop car, guys. And she's crying.
Yeah.
She's crying because the handcuffs, which, by the way, she's so fat, they had to do the double handcuff thing where they handcuff handcuffs to each other to get them to fit.
Well, that's always sad.
And she's crying because it hurts so much. Can you get a link? Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, because, that's what men do, is they just start crying for no reason.
No reason in fentanyl. But
yeah, there's that.
We're not watching the whole thing because it's 26 minutes long, guys, and I'm not even sure how much of this we could get away with.
Yeah, the whole thing is pretty funny.
It is.
It's like an episode of Reno 911, but it's all crazy. And I felt so bad for this cop, man.
But the part with the handcuffs, this part is amazing because it hurts her wrist. So the cop goes back there to check, and he can get a finger in between the cuffs and her wrist.
Yeah, it means the cuffs are fine.
Cuffs are nice and loose.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, you just got to put up with it. It was funny as hell. And then they close her in, and there's some part with the cops talking. I felt bad for him. I really did. Because they're trying to be respectful. They're even referring to her as a him. When the cop is talking to the ex, he asks which name to use with this person. And I forget the two names. Let's just say Joe or Jody. And he's like, I don't fucking know. So the cop tries to be respectful about all this.
The ex was so fucking funny, man.
That's what he gets for banging this in the first place, man.
I know, but that dude just did not give a fuck. He's like, just keep her away from me.
Cuffs are nice and loose like Mickey Haley. Hey, she might do her Kegels. We don't know. Or there just might be calluses in there that make it feel nice and tight. Don't give crazy people stuff that makes them angry. Because it doesn't just make you stronger, which it can. Testosterone is one way to dope in sports, Jack. Take extra testosterone.
Yeah.
But it does make you more aggressive as well. But I watched a video today. Did you see the video of the chick freaking out in the airport coffee shop? I believe is what it was.
I don't think so. I think I missed that one.
Oh my God. This chick loses her fucking mind. I saw it in a New York Post article and they had the video attached because she got fired and they wouldn't let her get her stuff, which her stuff apparently was a purse and a coat. She had already been kicked out. She wasn't even supposed to be in the airport. She didn't even have her badge anymore to be working there. And I don't know why they didn't just give her her stuff, but she turns ridiculously violent, hits two men repeatedly. But at the end of the story, you know what it said? The police said no charges have been filed against her.
Of course not. She's a woman.
She tried to hit a motherfucker with a chair, and he just grabs it from her like it was nothing.
Well, she was probably swinging like a girl.
The best part of it is she finally decides to leave, and then she changes her mind. And she goes running and jumps over the counter, and she grabs all of her stuff and stuff, and she breaks away from him. She takes off running and fell flat on her face. It was amazing. Women, why are y'all acting like this lately? I've seen so many aggressive women all over the place pulling this kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man.
Put your dicks away. And seriously, she punches this one guy, and you can see it in his face. You can see it. That if that was a man, she'd have got knocked the fuck out. But he knew if he would have hit her back, he's going to jail.
Yeah.
Because she's just a tiny little woman. It's not okay to hit. And if you hit somebody, you hit somebody and they hit you back, that's what you get. Just saying. Tired of this shit, man. No, she's a woman. It's not the same. You're right. It's not the same. And she should know that.
Not to get completely derailed, but did you see the two lesbians trying to jumpstart a car?
No.
Oh my God. We have to watch this. Hang on. There you go. This offended me, and I'm not even a dad, but the dad part of me is like, your father failed you.
All right, let's. Oh, this is a 2-minute video of them trying to jumpstart a car.
Yeah, it probably went on a lot longer before they started filming too.
Okay.
Whatever you do, don't rub them together because you could catch on fire. Okay. Plus with plus,
So
negative with negative.
Is the black the dark wire?
I'm sorry.
Based on their reactions, I don't think this is fake. I want to think it's fake, but I don't think it is.
Thank you, Keldrig. Violent trans men, the tragic consequence of mixing testosterone with someone who's probably never been punched for acting like a dickhead. True.
Yes. Very, very true.
But again, I mean, now you have women have been doing that for a while. So the trans men doing it now, it's shocking.
Baby, I don't know. Plus with plus, negative with negative.
I don't know how to do this.
Plus with plus, negative with negative.
This is negative, right?
I don't know.
Mine's written on there. Yours is not.
You said
that
mine was
a
plus.
This one's plus.
So this has to be negative.
Okay.
Don't get sassy with me, B.
I'm not getting sassy at all.
There was a little sass there.
There was a lot of sass there.
There was some sass there. Just own up to it.
Those are cold.
Damn lesbians.
And this goes here.
Oh
what is an engine block?
You're supposed to be hot and in porn. What are you doing trying to jumpstart a car?
Because they're not the hot ones.
Fuck mean.
I don't know, B.
Oh my god.
For those of you who don't know how to jumpstart a car, while you should pay attention to that, it honestly doesn't matter which color goes on which, as long as positive is to positive and negative is to negative. It's not like there's positively charged wires running through there. It's a reference so that you put it on the right one.
Yeah, you put a like is like, red on red and red on red. Positive on positive and positive on positive on the other end. But the important thing is also to hook up the live battery first to the dead battery afterward. So these people are fucking idiots.
I wish I knew. You just sparked my...
You just told me. How did
I did not tell
you?
you.
Know why? Because these are together. I don't know what I just did. I don't want to do this. I'll just call somebody.
Neither one of you know what you're doing. You should call somebody.
Yeah. Call a man. A real one.
You can seriously fuck up your car doing this wrong.
You can set a fire. You can set your car on fire. You can set the cables on fire. You can burn both those cars down. These people are fucking idiots.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, that smells bad. I don't want to start my car now. Try it again.
Wait.
You're okay. You're all right. I'm sorry for getting sassy.
No, you're not.
Okay. You're okay. You're all right. You're okay.
This is hard to watch.
I don't know how to get
You just did
there.
it. You just did it, baby. You got it. It's okay.
It's a clamp. You squeeze it and you let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I agree with you. Their parents failed them. Their dad failed them. If you don't know how to jump a car, and it's not as big a deal as it used to be. You used to see jumping a lot more. But this isn't that hard to figure out. Maybe figuring out whether or not you put it on the dead battery or the live one first, Jack, that's something you got to kind of guess at. How do you squeeze the clamp, put it where it needs to go, and let go so that it holds on? That is not deep discussion you need to have with a man. That's basic human tools.
Yeah. Ironically, they could look this up on YouTube.
They could,
YouTube
yes.
Videos on how to jumpstart a car.
Good job.
I refuse to believe lesbians have no idea or no experience with how clamps work. It isn't a strap on, it's a squeeze on, so it's not as relevant for them.
It's okay.
The nipple clamps
It's
aren't
not
labeled either.
All the way on there.
That's more of a gay guy thing.
That's true.
Okay. Okay.
So this one goes there?
That fell off.
This is a comedy of errors.
I'm scared.
I know you're scared. Do you want me to do it? No, you stay inside. Hold on.
I'm just in awe. I really am.
You gotta be.
Didn't they just tell us the other clamp had already come off?
Well, Monkey, it's best not to think too deeply about what these two are doing.
What's wrong, babe?
I don't know.
You got?
She's scared because she's working with enough electricity to start a car, you idiot. I feel bad for them. I really do. Especially the one who's having to hook it up because the other one's like, you got this. And she's like, I'm scared. I don't like electricity. You ever been electrocuted, Jack?
I've been shocked a few times, yeah. Yeah.
That shit sucks.
Yeah, it's an unpleasant experience. It's one of those, the universe telling you not to do that.
Oh, dude, when I worked at the shop, I was working on a drill press one night, and there's 2 drill presses right next to each other. So I put my stuff, my cigarettes and my drink, because we were allowed to smoke in the shop, on there, and then as I need them, I could use them. And I got shocked when I touched it. I was like, what the fuck? And I told the douchebag I worked for, I'm like, dude, that thing shocked me. I know it isn't. He goes over and he's touching all. It didn't shock you. Like, motherfucker. Well, his dad, who actually owned the place, came out later that night, and I've been shocked twice more since then. I'm like, dude, something with that is shocking me. And your son told me it's not really happening. And what it was is the drill press was plugged in with an extension cord.
Oh, no.
And somebody cut off the grounding wire.
Of course they did, because it wouldn't fit in the plug otherwise, right?
No, it would fit. That's the problem.
Oh, no, that's just weird then.
This was a shop that was built to run heavy machinery. Every outlet in there was grounded.
Well, you know what they did then? They shocked the monkey.
Yeah, they did. And the reason that it was happening sometimes or not others, it was only when I was still touching the drill I was working on.
Yeah, you were touching metal.
I was touching metal.
Hitting a circuit.
And he figured it out, and he yelled at his son the next day, which was funny for me.
Nice. Oh, thank you, Keldrick. Wires and lesbians work the same way. You'd think this would be more intuitive for them. They should even be better at it than a straight man. You would think so, but their fathers failed them. I'm sorry, if you're a grown adult and you don't know how to jumpstart a car, the rational person would be like, I bet this is on YouTube.
Like I said, these days jumping is not as big a deal, but like you said, it's on YouTube. Excuse me.
Yeah, there are a handful of things that are pretty simple car stuff that everybody should know how to do. You should know how to change a tire. You should know how to check your oil. You should know how to jumpstart your car. Those seem very, very simple. And ladies, learn how to do that.
Changing a tire is not as simple as it used to be, depending on the kind of car you have.
True.
Our spare tire in the van, I don't know if it's on this one, but the last van we had, you have to actually basically take apart the console so you can get to where the tire is screwed to underneath the van.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pain in the ass. Just throw it in the back.
Oh, no. There's a simpler way called Call AAA.
Yeah, just say, hey, somebody come fix this shit for me.
Yeah, that's why I pay $100 a year.
Especially with women, I know that there's a lot of times where dads don't do that stuff with them. And I don't know if I ever specifically showed my daughter or not, honestly. I'll have to ask her. But I can see it's the further on we get, Jack, in being a very spoiled, pampered society, the more I think you're going to have people who they never had to see that stuff, right? It was always done for them. Hey, you're screwed if you ever have to rely on yourself.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. A lot of people are going to die if there's a big catastrophe. They're going to panic and they're going to die. It's little stuff that really shouldn't matter is going to get dumb people killed, or ignorant people, I should say.
Yeah, and these two are at home. You can see it. The house is in the one shot. It's not like they're stranded somewhere where they're or something.
Yeah, but you can see it's winter there. And if they
Yeah.
were stranded on the side of the road trying to figure this out, they'd both freeze to death.
They would, yes, absolutely. So yeah, learn that kind of stuff, or Google that shit. You know how many things I've done, Jack? There's like, I wonder if that's on YouTube, and bam, there it is.
Yeah. I learned how to change the hood release for my car, and it involves taking a tire off. Because it's like, where the fuck does this thing go? Turns out it goes through the wheel well. So I had to take the tire off, and I didn't know that, but I looked it up on YouTube, and they had my model of car on there.
There you go. I had to look up how to change the line in my wife's newest weed whacker she bought because I could not figure that shit out. I've been doing yard work since I was like 12, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned this thing over. I'm like, what the fuck am I even looking at here?
Yeah, some of them are overly complicated now.
In reality, this one is exceptionally easy. But you have to know what you're doing. And if you don't, then it doesn't make any sense. And it's literally just making sure you put the string through this one specific hole, and it'll wind the whole thing up for you with no issue. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
When you know what you're doing.
Viking said he fixed his washing machine because of a YouTube video. That reminds me, I changed the heating element in my parents' dryer by looking up how to do it on YouTube.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. I mean, look, I use YouTube mostly for reaction videos these days and political stuff, but there's a ton of shit on here that's actually useful. And with a lot of the plumbing issues we had, Jack, I was all over YouTube for that stuff. And there are tons of people out there who run plumbing businesses who run YouTube channels showing you how to do different things. It's awesome. Don't just try to guess how to jump your car.
Yeah, that's how you're going to need a new car.
I do. I feel really bad for her because I understand that frustration. And I can't believe neither of them in 2024 didn't think, hey, we should look that up on YouTube. Where, by the way, they'll give you the advice about like, which one to hook up. You know where also that is usually found? I don't know if they still do it, but they used to be in the owner's manual. What happens if your battery dies when you're in an electrical vehicle? You can't jump that shit.
You're kind of fucked.
Who was it? Was it Trump that made the joke? Somebody made the joke about, I think it was Trump, having been in Connecticut and then gone to New Hampshire. He goes, it's not that far, but you couldn't make it on an EV charge. Just a nice little slap there. Fuck EVs, man. Stop trying to make those a thing.
Oh, why? Then you can't go very far. You're going to have your 15-minute city anyway. You don't need a car.
That shit just annoys me because they're trying to force it, and if you point that, it's not working.
No, nobody wants that shit.
All of the money and stuff that they poured into it, billions and billions of dollars, they're nationwide putting up these battery charging stations for reasons that make no real sense.
Overtax the grid so we have rolling blackouts.
Oh, yeah, you got that. 8% is their market share. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, I know a lot of the car companies are bitching and moaning because they're having to produce these cars because of federal mandate, but they can't sell them.
Nope. They're expensive as hell, and they're a downgrade from what we had.
Oh, absolutely. And like Massive just said, they're terrible in cold weather.
It'd be like having to go from streaming, like, oh, I can stream whatever movie I want. Like, no, actually, you got to use VHS. You can still watch the movie, and while it's running, it's fine. But if you want to watch it again, you got to rewind it. Yeah, you actually have to do something. Progress comes from making life easier, and they don't get that until they make EVs to where they make life easier. It's not going to work. Fuck, there was a who was it? Texas, I think it is. They just had their cold weather advisory.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey guys, it's taxing our system. Maybe it wasn't Texas. Don't quote me on that. Wherever it was. One of the things it said in their cold weather thing is, please don't charge your EVs. Don't charge your EVs right now because the system is taxed. Because everybody's turning on their heat. Can y'all imagine that? It gets really cold out. You need to go to the store, but you can't charge your car because if you do, you might shut down the state.
I saw some people in line waiting to charge their cars at a station, and it was like 5 or 6 cars in a line. They're having to wait for hours because everybody's ahead of them.
Yeah.
No, those things need to charge fast, and you can't do that.
Dude, I get annoyed when the person in front of me goes inside and spends 5 minutes buying shit on the shelf instead of coming out and moving their fucking car out of the way of the gas pump.
Yeah.
If I had to go somewhere and charge my car for hours and I had to wait behind somebody, I might just leave my car and start walking.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you either. And what happens if your car dies because of the cold? It drains your battery faster. You miscalculated, and now you're stuck on the side of the road. You can't just go get a battery.
Yep.
You gotta have somebody tow that shit.
Battery packs and cold cuts capacity. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But hey, they're convinced they're going to force these on people. I guess. I personally would rather go back to the old kind of polluting cars, Jack. At least I could fix those.
Yeah, those were awesome.
It might take me a while, but I could figure out how to rebuild an engine from like the 60s from scratch. Give me all the parts, I'll figure out how they go together. Can't do that with modern cars. You can't even get modern cars to turn on if the computer decides it's not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Most of the problems we've had with our cars in the last decade have all been the computer fucked up.
Yeah.
We had to replace a sensor because it kept telling us that our tire was low when it clearly wasn't.
Oh, mine does that all winter. It'll say that I have a low tire, and I don't.
Well, ours does that too, but we got to springtime and it was warm out and it was still saying the tire was low, and the tire, you check the pressure. You guys know how to check your tire pressure, right? And it still said it was low, so we took it in like, yeah, the sensor went bad. Oh, well, then that worked out well for me. Thank you, government.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice little feature to have, but the only reason we put up with that kind of stuff is it does make life easier. You don't have to check your tire pressure every month. You can just look at the dashboard. Hey, my tires are fine. See, it made life easier, Jack.
It can make life easier. They don't want it to, though. They want you to. Well, they don't care if it works either, because if you can only have it if they allow it. Don't worry, the digital currency will make it so only the chosen can have vehicles.
Well, I saw that Alex Jones clip that you shared out where they added in there that one of the things that makes money is affecting social change.
Yeah. Did you see the clip from the guy at the World Economic Forum?
I saw one of a chick from there. I didn't see one of a dude.
Oh my God, this guy. He's a Cornell professor, I think. And the guy wrote an entire book on the wonders of digital currency.
Of course.
Let me find the clip real quick. It's like 30 seconds. I think it's worth a view if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. The one of the chick, while you're getting that one up, she got up there to tell us how misinformation and disinformation are some of the worst things in the world, and that AI, because of that, AI is the biggest threat in the next decade. It should say a lot to you guys that these people are so worried about what they decide is misinformation being shared.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times their misinformation is not. I mean, we saw that with what? The Hunter Biden stuff. Covington. How many? I mean, Jussie Smollett. How many of these times do we have to look at him and go, you guys are liars? We don't control the narrative anymore. It's a bad thing. All right. Obama Light here.
If you think about the benefits of digital money, there are huge potential gains. It's not just about digital forms of physical currency. You can have programmability, units of central bank currency with expiry dates.
Why would you need an expiration date on digital currency?
Because that incentivizes the money to stay in circulation. China does this now. Everything he's describing is stuff China's already doing.
I hear you, but the reason you do that with fiat money is because of counterfeiting. That they take bills out of circulation so that this becomes the new bill, the new kind of paper we're using and stuff. There should never be a reason to take money out of circulation like that.
There is if you don't want people to have savings and have them completely reliant on the government.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. I mean a logical reason.
Oh, well, a non-nefarious logical reason, sure. But
yeah.
I don't think you understand where this man is speaking. He's a professional, a professor at Cornell, and he wrote a book on currency. I don't have the title in front of me right now. But he also used to live in China for a while.
Shock.
Yeah.
No, what he just described there is actually one of the things that should be a benefit of digital currency is not having to take it out of the system.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the paper anymore. You don't have to worry about counterfeiting anymore. And he's like, no, this way we can just say your money expired.
Yeah. You don't deserve it anymore. I posted a link in the chats to the actual full half-hour thing that he did. It's called The Future of Money. This is from like 6 months or so ago.
You could have, as I argue in my book, a potentially better and some people might see it, or a darker world where the government decides that units of central bank money can be used to purchase some things, but not other things that it deems less desirable.
Like guns or ammo.
I mean, that's basically what Alex Jones, the guy that was on there, was talking about them doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, you guys, the government can decide this is good. And that's what you can spend your money on. And that is bad. You can't spend your money over there.
Your social credit score does not allow you to buy mangoes. I'm sorry. You definitely can't buy guns and ammo. Those are evil things. Oh, you want to buy that book by that author we don't like who's on the other political side? Sorry, that's not qualified for your electrical currency.
Could you, again?
Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's I suggest watching the whole thing. It's really interesting. Death to Chinese Simps? Yeah, no shit. But this guy's he's a somebody at Cornell. Where they know better than you. They're fucking better than you. John Hopkins dean had to apologize to staff after a DEI officer sent a woke hit list email telling them that anyone white, male, or Christian is privileged. But, she get fired.
Good.
Yeah. She said, diversity words of the month. And here, let me read you this. In the United States, privilege is granted to people who have membership in one or more of the following social identity groups. White people is number one.
I don't identify as white.
I don't either. I identify as whatever's the popular one at the time. Able-bodied people, heterosexuals, cisgender people, males, Christians, middle or owning class people.
I'm owning
class, like you own property. So you could be some dirt poor hill folk that own a trailer from 30 years ago, but you own it, so that makes you privileged.
I'm fairly certain, according to that list, I'm the devil.
Oh, no, middle-aged people is next, and then English-speaking people. So
yeah, I think I hit every one of those.
I don't own anything. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, I would. This is my house. It's not even bank owned. Our mortgage is paid off. So, I mean, they can still take it from me if I don't give the taxes, because that's how ownership works in America. But yeah, holy crap! I didn't realize I was such a bad person, Jack.
Yeah, you're the devil.
Landowners, where have I heard this before? Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking kulaks.
This is fucking stupid, man.
It's getting dumber too, and dangerously dumber.
And see, guys, this is why yesterday, as much as I think there are problems with the 64 Civil Rights Act, the 64 Civil Rights Act is supposed to protect against shit like this.
Yep.
Because it did not give exceptions for being of the oppressed class. It was just, you cannot do this based on race, sex, religion, or national origin. It has been perverted since then.
Oh, heavily, yeah.
Into this nonsense. Anyway, I'm interested in this one, Jack. I had not seen this story. Oh, mother of God.
It's not that bad. You okay? You're gonna die on air because we can't end the stream then.
No, I've been getting pains like when this first started, and they just take my breath away. It's like a stab straight from my back to my chest.
Oh, really puts a damper on the way that song reads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Take my breath away.
The pain passes, but it takes a second for me to catch my breath again. Fuck.
Yeah, that's nasty, dude. Have you considered identifying as a healthy person?
No. Oh, that was one that I wasn't on there because I'm not able-bodied. So I'm not the exact devil. Thank God.
Oh, man, I was worried. I was working with Satan for a minute there.
Brooklyn Public School omits Israel from Qatar-funded class. Why is there a Qatar-funded classroom act in Brooklyn?
Oh, you know, it's better you don't know. You'll find out in a minute, but...
Labels it Palestine, Jewish erasure. Public New York City elementary. Gotta go young, Jack. Gotta go young.
It's all about the brainwashing.
Elementary schools being accused of Jewish erasure. Well, it's not Jewish erasure. It's Israeli erasure. But
yeah, there's a lot of Arabs.
Because a map in one of his classrooms shows all of the countries in the Middle East except for Israel, which it labeled Palestine. The map labeled the Arab world. Sorry.
Qatar is known for their map making. Exactly, man.
I don't know why Arab world just made me laugh so much. Appears in the classroom at PS 261 in Brooklyn, where Rita Lahoud gives students lessons in the Arab Culture Arts Program, which is funded by Qatar Foundation International, the American wing of the Qatar Foundation, a nonprofit owned by the country's ruling wealthy family.
Yeah, this is a public school.
I'm sorry. I mean, I guess we do this as Americans too, Jack, but in America, you have propaganda from another country in our classrooms.
Yeah, at an American public school. Now, this is not a private school where they get away with this kind of crap more often. No, this is a public school where your kids could go. No special anything. Your tax dollars are funding this local school that kids are forced to go to. It's pretty fucking disgusting. I wonder if they do little because it is, like Arab culture type stuff. I wonder if they do little dioramas of like gays getting thrown off buildings.
I wonder if their sexual education includes marrying a 6-year-old and banging her when she's 9.
Well, this is an elementary school. It's probably like preparatory for getting married.
It was manufactured by Arab Education Company, Ruman, and features Islamic landmarks in each of the countries. At the school, the map is posted under the heading Arab World with hand-drawn labels. Okay, so the labels were put by the teacher. So, I mean, the only reason I'm pointing that out is because they put up this map and you get to write the label on there. So this is really that teacher more than it is you can blame the Qatari government.
I'm still blaming the Qatari government.
No, I hear you. But in this case, it's just more proof of teachers are the problem, guys.
Yeah.
Because she could have wrote anything she wanted on that label, like Israel. And instead, she wrote Palestine.
Well, it says Arab world.
It's not just that we're experiencing Jewish hate in New York City public schools. We're experiencing Jewish erasure. Tova Plout, a New York City public school instructional coordinator for preschool through fourth. Where'd you find this person? I don't mean to be dickish here, Jack, but I often think this when they're like, so says a professor from Buttfuck University in the middle of Montana. How do you find this specific person? The
Yes,
New York
around the deli.
Public School Instructional Coordinator for preschool through fifth grade. All right. QFI shared a photo of the map. It has since deleted post on X writing, "We love seeing Arabic classroom decorations." But Plout said the map is troubling. The map is troubling. I mean, they took out, we know why they took off Israel. Stop it.
Yeah. Since they're committing a genocide against Palestinians.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. Did you see that video going around? You might have even been the one I saw it retweeted from, of the Palestinian women all bragging about how great it is that the children are raised to be martyrs.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this is why I tell people, all these assholes are like, but it's not the Gazan people. Suck my whole dick. Yes, it is. That's like saying it's not the North Korean people. They've been indoctrinated with this shit. It's what they know. It's what they believe.
Yeah, it's multi-generations of learned hate. And it's hard to deprogram people like that when their entire family is like that.
Speaking of programming, I went to lay down, got in my bed, turned on my TV because I always go to bed with TV on. And the first thing at the top of the TV thing says, The Marvels. And I was like, wait, that shit's already coming to streaming platforms?
Well, it flopped pretty hard, so...
But it made me think, everything I've seen about this movie, despite the fact that it's all girl power, other than a few people going rah, rah, girly, girly, the criticism of it hasn't been that it's a girl powered movie. It's that it sucks.
Yeah, it's just boring and terribly done.
Understatement, thank you. Actually, the 9-year-old thing was okay because black people then were more mature and
That doesn't say black people.
What does it say? Oh, back. Wait,
people
back
then.
Some of those people were black.
No, they weren't. They were Middle Eastern.
Well, in that area, but there were black people in the world.
There were, but that's not. I mean,
See?
it would have made this really racist.
No, because understatement, you're black, aren't you? He could say that.
No, in context, it would be really
I'm reading it.
disturbing.
I am using the monkey. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, just stop where your head and start over with reading the super chat.
Put on your glasses. Glasses aren't the problem there. Actually, the 9-year-old thing was okay back then because people were more mature and heat and desert accelerates puberty. Actual argument I've heard. Wow.
I like how Understatement says, yes, keep digging.
Oh, I know Understatement enjoyed that one. He likes when I fuck up words.
I know. That was fun.
I'm not even ashamed. And yes, the monkey defense, and that has nothing to do with the pigment of my skin, just me in general. I will point you all to Nuts, who was in chat. I don't know if she's still around. It took me 2 years for somebody to correct me on her name.
And you still say it wrong.
Now it's out of principle. Anyhow, that's my bad.
At least you commit.
I do. Look, man, I know my faults, and I'm okay with them. And honestly, they provided for a lot of humor over the years.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
If you can't laugh at yourself, let me know because I'll make fun of you. You've heard me talk. Either I'm black or have a serious throat infection. You know what's this is a true thing that happened the other day. I was watching somebody, and it was a black guy. I'm like, he doesn't sound black, and I didn't feel racist, Jack. I felt
Deceived.
it felt surreal
Oh,
because it was like, no. I've often been asked, "Hey, monkey, are you black?" And it's based on my voice, not. But I don't think I sound black. There's a different bass in white and black voices. Hashtag not all. Yes, we're speaking generally here, but you can usually tell. It's like when Hootie and the Blowfish, they started singing. I'm like, somebody told me he's black. I'm like, no, he's not. There ain't no fucking way that dude's black. But then if you hear him sing other stuff, like, oh yeah, that dude's definitely black. It's just sometimes the accent doesn't come through. And I feel cheated when it happens. Did you see that a dude just got busted for pretending to be black online?
no. Anyone we know?
Nobody that I'm familiar with. He was a I want to say Minecraft YouTuber.
Oh.
And he ran under the premise he was black. I don't know how anybody thought he was black because he didn't sound black. He sounded white as shit. Guess what?
He's white?
He's white as shit. He's as
Oh.
white as your avatar, dude.
That's
No,
pretty
that's not-
white.
That's not true because your avatar has black in it. Yeah. Dude, actually, and I thought about it, I'm like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? With the way like YouTube likes to pump up black creators and stuff, nobody would have known. Nobody can actually see me. I could have just been black this whole time.
Yeah, I don't think you would have pulled that off.
Look, man, I like big asses. I like Wayans Brothers movies. I like rap. I could have pulled that shit off.
Oh no.
I'm telling you. Anyhow, I'm poor. I mean, no, that's fucked up. Wow. Had a Joe Biden moment there.
I'm just a hitchhiker he found on the side of the road.
I am too poor to be black, man. I'm white poor.
That's why we need people to like, share, and subscribe.
And because this is going to be our last show. Fuck.
We'll be on Rumble at some point.
Be writing for the Babylon Bee soon. Yeah, it was just weird to me because I was watching this guy and it just hit me like he doesn't sound black. That's so weird. But you know what I did notice though, Jack? The only time I think people sound black is when they have a certain voice, because there's tons of black people who sound like white people. Because it's not everybody has that same deepness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you hear James Earl Jones, you're like, that's a black dude.
Yeah.
You hear Morgan Freeman, like that's a black dude. But you hear Carlton from Fresh Prince, you'd have never guessed he was black.
That's true.
He just has a normal voice. What I'm getting at, guys, is stereotypes are wrong. Understatement can be the new third host to avoid cancellation. Oh, it's all in good fun. It is weird to me that people have thought I sound black because I don't think I sound. And again, going with that notion of it's a very specific sound, like a James Earl Jones. I don't think I sound deep enough for that. Just saying. So, the Marvels, Jack. I was actually going somewhere with that.
Were you?
I was. Because it struck me that when nobody made a big deal about it being the rah-rah girl power, which it still was. I mean, like this was all female, other than, them letting Samuel L. Jackson be in it a little bit. The bad guy's a female, or the bad girl, I guess. It's all female, but nobody paid as much attention to that as they did with the first one. And just by ignoring it and just going, yeah, this is probably going to suck, it didn't make $1 billion. It barely pulled in 200 million.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I'm okay with hate watchers because I know there's a lot of people like, hey, don't hate watch. You're just giving them money. But I got to admit that they're not wrong when you look at what happened with Miss Marvel versus the Marvels. Can you imagine if that had gotten a whole bunch of pushback for just being a female rah-rah bullshit? It probably would have made $2 billion.
Yeah, well, all the political pundits would have been out like, oh, they hate women.
Thank you, Mighty Balzac, who says Darth Vader abandoned his kids, just saying yes, but Anakin was white. He only had that cool voice changer that made him sound black. He was still a honky. Damn abandoner.
He was in blackface.
He was. He literally was. He was a caricature of blackface.
Somebody's going to overlay Mammy onto Darth Vader video.
I would be surprised if that hasn't happened already. What do you think of the notion of hate watching?
I mean, I get it, but I don't understand the guys that are always making videos about how bad Star Wars sucks or how bad Marvel sucks. And they're the first ones in line at the theater to see it.
But isn't there part of it, though, that, I mean, I guess it depends on whether or not you're making content out of it. If you're making content out of stuff you're hate watching, I get it. But if you're just hate watching it to hate watch it, that's where I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I get like doing the MST3K thing because I like a lot of bad movies. I think they're funny.
Sure.
And you can point out all the silly stuff and socialize with your friends, eat some popcorn. But going to the, like, paying money for that, going to the theater to do that sort of thing is silly to me.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, I feel like you wait till it comes out on streaming. Again, you're creating because then it's kind of timely. Although, you know what I saw the other day? I don't know why it popped up on my timeline, but Velma popped back up on my timeline, and people are still getting decent views watching that stupid shit.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't have tolerance for just bad stuff. Like, if it's entertaining bad, awesome, that's fun. But if it's just terrible, boring, like John Q with Denzel Washington, it's an hour and a half movie about how much HMOs suck.
God damn it! Understatement said he went out for weird space milk and death sticks. Stop it. Keldrick, thank you. I look forward to your apology video where you don't actually apologize and you just play a shitty song on a banjo and blame your mental health for allowing yourself to make some mistakes. I apologize for nothing other than misreading the word the first time I did it because, yeah, I fucked up. But otherwise, everything else was funny, so I don't give a shit. Chappelle level white voice. Yes, Chappelle doesn't sound black. Well, the older he gets, your voice gets deeper, and he is a smoker, so it's getting there. But you listen to Chappelle when he was young, sounds like a little white nerd.
Yeah, like Urkel.
Yeah. I when it comes to the hate watch thing, I don't know that I would ever, I mean, you and I have talked about movies after they've come out and stuff, and they've gone on to streaming platforms. I don't know that even if I would be having to make a lot of money to go pay money to somebody to watch some shit that I expect to really suck.
Yeah, I don't seek out shitty movies. Movies that aren't going to be at least hilarious to me to make fun of. Because I got to be kind of careful with the way I phrase that. Because I watch shitty movies, but they're hilarious shitty movies. We watched Hard Ticket to Hawaii the other day, right?
Yeah.
There's a poisonous snake in there. It's got like super cancer venom, and somebody blew it up with a rocket launcher. It was hilarious, but that's funny. It's not just like, oh my god, I gotta sit through another Tyler Perry movie. No, I am not watching that shit. Like my example of John Q is, it was so bad, it was so boring. I have no interest in ever seeing it again.
I watched most of a movie the other day. I was in the mood for a bad disaster movie, and I remembered there's the one about the moon falling, and I couldn't remember the name of it.
Oh, Moonfall?
The one with Halle Berry and all that.
Wasn't it just called Moonfall?
Is it? I don't remember. But I went to look it up. I'm like, Moon. I think I even looked up Moonfall, but what came up was a different movie, and I wasn't even paying attention, so I clicked on it and started watching it. It's clearly a ripoff of the other one, and it not in a parody way.
Oh,
Yeah. And so the entire movie is shot in like 4 locations, and all of them are indoors. There's a part where they're in space, and the entire thing is just this cockpit that they put together that looks like they're sitting in a car.
wow.
And the entire thing is just them talking about what's happening. Oh no, it's coming at us. It was ridiculously bad.
See, you're selling me on the movie now.
I'll have to find it because you probably like it. But the best part about this movie is that the military's involved, right? Because the moon is falling. It's going to fall. And there's this Elon Musk-esque character who's the brother of this pilot who is the only one who can save everybody. But the military is 3 women who are standing in nondescript rooms yelling at each other, but as though they're talking to each other over an intercom instead of face to face. Like it should be on screen on Star Trek, like on screen number 1. And instead they're just yelling as they look past the camera a little bit. And that's a good 20 minutes of the movie, dude.
Wow. Have I ever told you about City Dragon?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so imagine that you're a guy who looks vaguely like Mario Lopez, and you can kind of do some martial arts, and you decide you want to make a movie about that, and it's as exciting as you think. There's like every time he does the martial arts, he's wearing the same shirt. Sometimes he has to take it off, but that's his fighting shirt. And there's this weird thing where he has to get a job halfway through the movie. He starts getting sexually harassed by his boss. It's like a half an hour that doesn't fit with the movie, but they were padding runtime. And all the offices and his house are clearly the same building.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a scene where one of the offices is quite literally his kitchen.
Nice.
It's one of the greatest bad movies I've ever seen. But it's really boring at the same time. And he does like random hip hop in the middle of it.
There's a great part in the movie I'm talking about because the fighter pilot guy who, whatever he was, he has an ex-wife who they're trying to get back to safety for reasons that they don't exactly explain. And there's this one soldier who's charged with doing it, who, by the way, for some reason has ridiculously long hair for a soldier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not, right?
And this is something that's just happened. So it's not like he's had time for it to grow out. It's not like really, really long, but if you have been around the military like that, he'd be in trouble for that shit. This is like 1970s levels when the actors were too vain to cut their hair. So him and her are running along, and for some reason he gets injured and dies. And so she has to hook up this relay link to reconnect the whole world so everybody can talk again, which is apparently this one rural it's not even a cell tower, but it's kind of that thing. And she has to climb up it, and she's got a broken leg, and she gets up there and she hooks it back together. It was so bad, but I couldn't turn it off
because it was delightful. It's like so bad it's good.
It wasn't even good. It was like, and I used this the other day with something else, but it was like watching the old Command and Conquer cutscenes. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And now I can't find it. I was looking it up on Amazon, and I was looking it up on Google, and I can't find the name of it. It's something like Moonfall. Maybe it's like Moon Impact or something like. If you get a chance, don't watch it. It's really bad.
I might have to own this movie.
You would probably enjoy it. Although, again, because of the lack of characters, what is there? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters in the whole thing. And one of them dies pretty immediately. And it's mostly just them sitting in it's like watching a bad play that they tried to put into film. Because it's just them talking about what happened. This is supposed to be a disaster movie. Oh, no, wait. I forgot. There were 2 other pilots that unfortunately, they didn't make it. One of them actually runs her ship into a meteor so that it doesn't hit the ship of the guys.
Is it called Meteor Moon?
Maybe. I don't think so.
Dominic
But let me.
Swain in it.
I'd have to see the cast from it. It was just so bad.
Well, it's got 2.5 stars, which I mean that's selling me on the film already.
Let me see.
Meteor Moon. It's got a great title. And there's also Asteroid Final Impact, which sounds cool too. But Meteor Moon, that looks awesome.
I think this is it, actually.
See, if there's one thing I know, it's bad movies.
It's so bad. So very bad. Yep,
Movie
that's
looks fucking awesome.
That's the Elon Musk character. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Check out Meteor Moon, Jack. You will absolutely love it. Guys, if you enjoy bad movies, what's your favorite bad movie out there? She turned the internet off and then on again. That scene is so ridiculous. It is so bad. Because all she has to do, Jack, is plug in a battery, I think, and turn it on. And it doesn't work. And so there's this dramatic pause as she looks and she sees that the cord is unplugged halfway up the thing. I was like,
oh no.
Who just plugs in a cord like that?
Apparently they do. Oh, Return of the Living Dead 2. Good choice, Sidney. I love talking movies with normies because they always have stupid fucking answers. When you say, what's your favorite bad movie? I actually had this like pretentious dickbag tell me Braveheart. I'm like, that's not a B movie, dude.
Yeah, that's not a. I mean, my favorite bad movie is not a B movie. It's The Day After Tomorrow. That was a big budget picture.
That's a B movie. That's a B movie because the way it was shot. That is absolutely a B movie. That's just a big budget B movie. That's not an A movie at any stretch.
I consider it a blockbuster because that's what it was sold as.
Yeah, they all try and sell them as blockbusters. I'll tell you.
Okay, they had the marketing budget behind it.
Yeah.
Most B movies don't.
Yeah.
So I hear you. I hear your rationale, but I would consider that to be one of the ones, like if you're a pretentious ass who's like Braveheart.
Yeah, like if you had said The Last Airbender has the same problem because it's a B movie, but it had a big budget.
Yeah, that's fair. Armageddon definitely was not a B movie.
Oh, if you saw the sets, man, those were atrocious. Waterworld, same situation. A big budget, but kind of a shit movie. Yeah, I actually like Waterworld. I thought it was fun.
You can have big budget shit movies, and I think it's honestly kind of insulting to Meteor Moon to consider them in the same respect.
Yeah, I think there's A-list movies that failed, and then there's B movies where they just don't have the budget. Like Plan 9 is always mentioned. No, The Fifth Element was an A-list movie. Sorry. Freedom! Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah, that movie was stupid. I got that on Blu-ray for $1 at a Big Lots.
The original Dungeons and Dragon live-action movie was a B movie.
Yeah.
And wonderful in its horribleness. Who's the guy who played the bad guy in that?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons, thank you. He is amazing in that movie. Do you think he knew how bad that movie was when he was in it, and that's why he overacted the way he did?
Yes.
Because
he can act. He is actually a very good actor when he wants to be.
Oh, Jeremy Irons, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, what was that movie with the twins?
The twins.
Yeah. Damn it! I'm gonna have to look it up.
Twins?
No. Way to go to the obvious. Oh, I didn't think of that.
I mean, twins. That's the best twin movie that was ever made. You know, my favorite part of that movie is that Danny DeVito plays somebody who's literally genetic crap, and that is in the movie, and he plays that character.
Yeah, Dead Ringers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. I know the name.
Yeah, Dead Ringers. That was a great movie. He just does an amazing job in that. Lolita, he was really good in that as a creepy pervert.
Mm-hmm.
The man is a solid actor. He played Scar in The Lion King.
And he played Simon in Die Hard 3.
Yeah.
He plays Hans Gruber's brother in that. He's a very good actor, and to see him in that role, if you guys have never seen it, just go look up any original Dungeons and Dragons live action movie clip here on YouTube. Yeah. It probably has him in it.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be bad because it had a Wayans brother in it.
Hey,
now if they didn't make the movie, it tends to be crap.
Beverly Hills Cop was good.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Although Damon Wayans is in it. You know what's funny about that? If you go back and watch it, Damon Wayans looks older in that than he does now.
That's true.
He hadn't shaved his head yet, and as black guys start to go bald, they age quickly until they shave their head, and then suddenly they're 20 again.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but
you know, I'm a big fan of the show Scrubs, and Turk is played by Donald Faison. Is that how you say his name?
I don't know.
The black guy from Clueless.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just don't know how to pronounce his name.
He just looks perpetually young unless he lets his hair grow out.
Yeah.
Because his hair starts about halfway back on his head, and it just makes him look so old. And yeah, that's how he was able to play like in Clueless, and how he got to play in Remember the Titans. Because he's like in his 30s when he's doing that shit. But shave his head and he looks 20 again. And that's some bullshit. If I shave my head, I'd look like a retarded potato.
Careful, JF Garpy will be all over you.
I know. I don't want raped by Garpy.
And then he'll be buried in his yard next to his other kills.
Color Out of Space and Mandy qualify as movies or just B movies or just indie weird. I've never seen any.
They're both. Yeah. Mandy was really good. Color Out of Space was good, but Mandy was a better movie. Both of Nick Cage, who I generally speaking hate.
Face Off was a terrible movie. Face Off was an interesting premise done badly.
Yes. Well, John Woo should stick to Asian film because he's way better at it. When he does American movies, they look like crap.
The part of Face Off that really bothered me was the sex part. I get it. Okay, you changed faces, oddly with no scarring. Their bodies didn't change, and I'm not even talking about the penis part, Jack.
No, but their body. I mean, they were supposed to have similar body structure, but they really don't in real life
at all.
So, yeah.
I talked up Reacher season 1 a lot because I really like season 1 of Reacher. Season 2 has come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching it with Lady Monkey, and I got curious about the guy who plays Reacher, who is not as tall in the show. They actually pulled tricks to make him look taller because the character is supposed to be like 6'5".
Oh, okay.
And he's actually only like 6 or 6'1". But they use smaller actors around him, which is what they should have done with Tom Cruise when he played Reacher. They should have just had midgets for the rest of the cast. But as I watched this show, especially as you're watching the first couple of episodes of it, he comes off because of how big and everything is, almost like an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of guy, where the acting is really stiff. But he's actually he was in some TV show about sports, about football. I forget the name of it, but it was some football show where he plays the goofy guy. He plays almost like Stickler from American Pie. And I realized that there's actually a director telling him to be stiffer than he needs to be. I get it. He's supposed to be this military guy who's, upright and straight and all that. But they take it to Conan levels.
Wow.
So if you guys do watch the show and you see that, understand that was a director's choice. He's not actually a bad actor. He's a pretty decent actor, actually. And he's also an actor who's not real happy with Hollywood. He doesn't like Hollywood. He thinks it's a bad place that depresses people.
Well, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Friday Night Lights. No. It's some goofy show. Oh, Stifler. Sorry, I said Stickler. You're right. Stifler. It's some goofy show where the only part of it that I've seen, because I've looked it up and I went onto YouTube to find a clip. It's him and two of the other guys on the team. They have a race in their jock straps where they put a cookie between their butt cheeks, and whoever loses has to eat the cookie.
Ew.
And don't worry, their own cookie. You don't got to eat the other guy's ass sweat.
It's still pretty gross.
So Blue Mountain State, that's it, Circus Zero. Blue Mountain State.
He also played Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He did, but I feel like you didn't really get to see him, so it doesn't count the same. That's like saying Corey Feldman was one of the Turtles.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was in the shitty Turtles movie, the Michael Bay one, so.
Cirque says that's Blue Mountain State. Yeah, and I know that show has a cult following, but I'd never heard of it till I looked up this guy to see what other acting he had done. Because I was very curious if he was a decent actor or if it was a Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of situation where like he's big and he can kick, so let him be the actor.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever going to accuse Jean-Claude of being a good actor. Arnold eventually comes around, or at least gets better roles where it fits better. And you can say the same with Stallone. Jean-Claude never really got his acting chops.
He plays the same guy all the time. He has no range at all.
Well, he's basically Brie Larson. He's just stiff. I'm just saying. And they have the same ass. That dude is weirdly proud of his butt.
Yeah, that's weird.
I meant Out for Justice starring Steven Seagal. I like Seagal movies because they're so dumb and over the top. For all Steven Seagal movies almost were parodies of what happened back then. You know, the movie genres at the time, the action genre.
Yeah.
Where you got this fat guy who's really great at all of this martial arts stuff and can take out the whole mob. They were interesting to watch, and some of the stunts are really cool, but he never quite fits. I don't know.
Yeah. I like some of Steven Seagal's early movies. They're good beat 'em ups, like Marked for Death, Above the Law. But as they go on, you're like, wow, you got really portly. You're the portly ninja.
Well, as part of movies you should have watched, we rewatched Under Siege.
Yeah.
I've never seen 2.
Dark Territory is not very good. It's the same movie, just on a train.
The first one wasn't very good.
Well, that one was entertaining. The second one was just kind of like, eh. The one where he's he's hanging out with Native Americans in Alaska trying to protect this oil field from oil developers.
Not
it was
familiar.
Fucking dumb. Oh man, yeah, there were a bunch of stinkers. On Deadly Ground, that was the name of it.
You should watch Space Ice. You'll love it. I have to look into it. When I think Space Ice, I just think Ice Pirates, which was one of the greatest movies ever made.
That is a classic.
I remember do you remember where you first saw it, Jack? I do.
I saw it in the theater. Yeah.
Well, we weren't rich. We couldn't go to theaters.
Oh, my dad loved taking us to movies because if he wanted to see a movie, we all got dragged along because, babysitters.
I got to see it on HBO late one night when I was supposed to be in bed and everybody had already gone to sleep, and I snuck downstairs to watch TV. And it was on HBO one night, way back, God, was it 4th grade? I remember the couch I was sitting on. I don't know why, but that movie made such an impact on me. I was forever afraid of the space herpes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's terrifying looking.
If you go back and watch it, it holds up ridiculously well for what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about B movies.
Yeah, that meteor moon, that's never going to age poorly because there's very little to it other than them talking.
Yeah, it can't age poorly because it was poor to begin with.
Yeah.
It's like having sour milk. It can't get any more sour.
Then it just turns into cottage cheese.
Yeah, and that makes it vintage.
Hard Target. That's oh fuck.
That's Jean-Claude Bon Jovi, isn't it?
No, isn't Hard Target the parody movie?
I don't remember. Is that the one where he's got a twin?
No, that was Double Impact, wasn't it?
I don't remember. They all blur together. They're all the same movie. Time Cop's the only one that's slightly different.
And God, that movie was disappointing even for a fucking Jean-Claude movie.
Yeah, it had potential. Like it had the idea of a good story, and then they just pooped all over it. Did you ever see that movie Millennium with Chris Christopherson? I think it is.
Long time ago.
Man, don't rewatch that. It was fucking awful.
That's the plane one, right?
Yeah, where they're people from the future coming back to the past and taking people out before the plane crashes.
Yeah, I know of the movie. I know I watched it a long time ago, but I don't remember much other than Chris Christopherson was in it and there was a plane.
Yeah, it had a cool idea that was so horribly convoluted. Oh, man, they really fucked that movie up.
Hard Target had Wilfred Brimley.
Oh.
So did Cocoon. Whatever happened to
You cut out whatever happened to what?
Steve Guttenberg?
He's still around.
I had that thought the other day because one of the people that I watched doing reactions, they reacted to the original Police Academy movie.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I was like, where did he go to? It's also where I realized that Razor Fist reminds me of the guy who plays, oh God, what's his name? The guy with the big gun.
Taggart?
Yeah. No, Taggart's the guy from Beverly Hills Cop, but it's very close.
Oh.
I forget his name.
I'm not looking it up either. I don't care enough.
It's something Berry, right? Tackleberry.
Tackleberry, yeah.
Yeah. He sounds like no, sorry, it's not him. He sounds like Booger. Razor Fist, when he gets really mad, listen for it. He sounds like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, this is Pierce Snow.
He really does.
It's like the kid from Better Off Dead. It's the same actor trying to get high off the snow. Yeah. The Frighteners. That's a really underrated movie. Michael J. Fox. That is a great fucking movie.
Mahoney. That was Steve Guttenberg. How dare you? Steve Guttenberg was big there for a while. He had the Police Academy movies, and he did Short Circuit and Cocoon.
Yeah. 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, his flame burned out really fast. I don't know why.
He had some good years there. He made some money.
Hopefully he saved some of that.
He made some. Whether he saved it or not is the question.
Yeah.
New Jack City is another one of those another one of those movies that could have been good. It has a good a decent premise. The director sucked. And
I just saw it last night. I haven't seen it in like 20 years. And the direction is really garbage on that.
it is. Ice T did well in some of the scenes, and in other ones it's just bad. And you see how it's the directing that goes down, because you don't have that issue with Judd Nelson or with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
It's with the newer actors, and you can see it. It's bad.
Yeah. You could tell, like, Chris Rock, he obviously didn't have much guidance on what he was doing, because like his positioning and frame is terrible.
Yep.
Sometimes it looks like he's about to turn his head completely away from the mic. It's just really poorly done. And it's sad too, because that movie had potential. They were trying some crazy innovative things, like having the camera follow people like they did on Law and Order. The cameraman follows, but it was kind of jumpy because they didn't have a stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like occasional things where they'd cut the angle, like you see two people talking and they'd cut to just one of them, and their positioning changed.
Yeah.
So nobody was paying attention to continuity. So that was annoying. And sometimes there's shadows that don't make any sense because the lighting rigs are wrong. So it looked like that movie was made by people that read too many comic books. You see all these bizarre angles that don't work.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And nobody really told them, like, hey, you need to do the rules of 3 here, man. Come on. But that movie had potential. The idea was good. It got a little preachy at the very end, where they have the like text thing about like drugs. We got to fix this problem, man. But yeah, I think overall the movie idea was good, but the execution was terrible.
And I actually love the very end where Nino Brown gets up and he goes, "I'm taking everybody down with me." And he starts naming the bankers.
Yeah.
He's like, if you really want to stop drugs, that is where you would go. Those guys have to launder that money somehow. And I guarantee you, Nino Brown wasn't smart enough to be doing it.
Yeah.
Razor would be a good guest on here. I've invited him. He doesn't answer me, so
he's watched the show.
He's heard us before. New Jack was great. I like New Jack City. I just think it could have been such a better movie, and the flaws in it kind of break it for me.
Yeah,
and for me, mostly
potential to be a classic.
Yeah, for me, the part that is the worst, and it's because they made him the main character, was Ice-T. He was not ready for that role.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Damon Wayans being in The Last Boy Scout. I liked the movie The Last Boy Scout and the premise and everything behind it, and had the potential to be one of the buddy cop movies if they'd ever, tried again.
Yeah.
But Damon was so bad acting in that, and you can see it if you watch the movie, you can see where they made him start taking acting classes.
Yes.
And the beginning of that movie, part of it is hard to watch because Damon just doesn't know how to act. He overacts the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying. He just had no idea what he was doing.
He didn't have the experience. Yeah, he needed coaching, and when he got it, you can see the performance and pick up. But by then, it's already a B movie. Where if you watch something like the original Lethal Weapon, all of the acting in that is solid, even though it was Mel Gibson, not exactly that known unless you were a Mad Max fan at the time,
or you saw Romper Stomper.
Stop it. He wasn't as well known as he was after that movie comes out. That puts him on the radar of the kind of people who don't watch Mad Max. I knew who he was. My dad was a huge Mad Max fan. I don't know why. My dad was not a prepper or anything. My dad was an old farm boy, but he loved that. You know what else my dad loved? The werewolf movies.
American Werewolf in London?
No.
Oh.
Fuck, what's the name? The Howling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Your dad
my dad loved The Howling, man. And it just didn't fit my dad's personality to like The Howling.
Yeah, some people are just very complicated. Sometimes you find that they like something that's completely off the wall for them.
Bulletproof was better than The Last Boy Scout. I don't know if I ever watched Bulletproof.
I would disagree with that. Bulletproof's okay. Last Boy Scout was, I thought, much better action film.
Again, Last Boy Scout's another one of those that had the potential. You know, I like the movie Bad Boys, but they fucked it all up by trying to make it too Miami Vice.
Yeah,
It's sorry, it's just another one that should have been a mindless buddy cop kind of comedy thing, and they tried to stylize it, and in my opinion, kind of ruin it.
I blame Will Smith for that.
I know you do, but it's not his fault.
No, everything's Will Smith's fault.
I
He
know.
tries too hard to be the tough, cool guy, and sometimes that's not. You can't just be Will Smith all the time. Okay, like
But-
iRobot was. That movie was completely shot because he was trying to be like cool guy Will Smith, and it looks really dated now.
In the case of Bad Boys, I think it fits though because it's written that way for him. Where if you see him in something like 7 Pounds, that there's none of that, and he really just needs a director who knows how to direct him. The guy can act. It's just whether or not they're letting, because that was his problem in Independence Day. He's just that character you're talking about.
Yeah.
You just
Oh, good time for audio ducking. I saw some good bad movies referenced in the chat, but you guys are still talking highbrow. I'm talking like Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, and you're over here with Lawnmower Man. After Earth, that movie sucked balls.
this
That
film.
was just
I said instead they'd put him in the films and be like, "Do your stand-up act."
yeah. Well, there's that too.
Because even a movie like Dead Poet Society, which I still love that movie, Robin Williams is actually a detraction from it.
Yeah, it's because they were trying too hard to make it with like some comedy elements
Yeah.
or make it kind of silly. If you want to watch him do serious acting, you watch like Insomnia
Mhm.
or 1 Hour Photo. And he was really creepy in 1 Hour Photo.
Keanu Reeves as Keanu Reeves in another action movie. I would give you that for Keanu Reeves if Keanu's career didn't start out as Bill and Ted. It's hard to argue that John Wick is Ted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he has done a lot of movies that are
He has, yeah. Just hey,
kind of the same.
go be Keanu, and that's a direction problem. It's not the actor's problem.
Yeah, Bruce Willis got that a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bruce Willis, another guy who could act. He
Yeah.
can't now, but
Well,
Poor guy.
he's got horrible degenerative mental disease.
Jack and Jill starring Adam Sandler was garbage. That
That
movie
was
looked like trash. I never watched it.
A lot of Adam Sandler movies are just stupid.
I don't like Adam Sandler. I don't hate the man like I do some actors where it's like I can't watch that, but he's annoying. He's very much the to me a Jerry Lewis of our time. I don't find him funny. I never found him funny on Saturday Night Live. I know a lot of people like the Hanukkah song and stuff, so he wrote a silly song once. But mostly he's annoying, and if he was in my friend group, I probably would have beat him up at least once.
Yeah, he's that annoying spurgy kid that needed Ritalin.
Yeah, he was. God, he's annoying to me. I'll take Jim Carrey at a 10 over Adam Sandler at a 1 any day.
Wow.
I don't know why. I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, I used to like him a lot more than I do. Like, I don't know. I'm okay with occasionally watching Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore if they're on TV and somebody's already watching it, but I don't seek out any of his movies.
When he goes into that baby talk, I just want to slap the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's really annoying. I find it really obnoxious when women do that.
Yes.
When a guy does that, I just assume they're retarded.
And one of my best friends in high school looked a lot like Adam Sandler, and I have hit him before. And he acted a lot like Adam Sandler too. Because I wouldn't, be like, oh, I can't hang out with Adam ever, but occasionally you just gotta hit him. And he's like, yeah, it's my turn to get hit again. No, that's not how you should treat people. I'm just joking. But, you know, there is that one dude in the group. It's like, fuck, why is he here?
Yeah.
Why is he here? And it's not that you hate him. It's just, I can't be around you. I just want to strangle you.
It's all about small doses.
Anyway, guys, we're at 2 hours, and I'm going to go lay down. These pains are getting the best of me, Jack.
Oh, that's not good.
It sucked all the energy I have. I'm gone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That pain to my body is like Nikki Haley to a sailor when her husband's gone. It just sucked everything out.
Jesus.
I had to make one more Nikki Haley's a whore joke before we left. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links in the Chatterooski there. As always, thank you so much for all the donations and the support you give us and coming out and listening to us ramble.
Why do you keep calling her a whore? Because it's funny. If you're looking for deeper than that, there isn't anything.
Balls deeper than that. Oh.
Other than the fact that she is way too happy to remind everybody her husband's overseas. It's weird to me. That's just her virtue signaling. I'm open. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Why do I call Nikki a whore? It's because right now her vagina's probably sore.
Jesus.